Well, you could lead us into this next one because
The next topic is there was okay. Let me.
was that even English?
Yeah, I don't know what I just
Is it
said.
what that-
There was I don't know what I was saying. There was a tweet of a video, and this video is old. Like I've seen this video before, but basically, there was a tweet that someone made where they was talking about. It was a while ago. They was talking about like why they feel like white people have more successful marriages, or like they seem like they lean into getting married and having kids, like they were raised on that belief. She tweeted this, and then she added this video now, like weeks later, as context, like saying like, see, like this is what I was talking about, and this is an old video, but basically it was a video showing all these education majors, like they was at a college graduations, and they all were engaged already, like by their college graduations. It was like maybe 5, 6, 7 of them, and it was all like showing their rings, and they were literally in their college graduation year, right? So this started a whole conversation where they're saying like how black community, we don't have that embedded in our brains to get married, like especially going to school and getting married. So they're saying that they feel like white people, especially, white people are like raised onto, you go to college. When you go to college, you go there, you find your husband who has a good major, and yeah. So, and they were saying that black people, we were raised on, go to college, don't focus on a relationship, focus on yourself, get successful. You know what I mean? And there was some tweets like this person said, I think the difference is white people want to get married and black people don't. White people see the value of marriage and black people will be on the timeline saying there's no benefit. So guess whose parents are drilling marriage into their kids' brain? And then
let's
someone else said, if you ever been around middle class suburban white people, you know it's easy for them to get married, and not just because of the lack of emotional trauma and financial stress, but also because they don't marry based on ideologies or shared interests. They barely have a sense of self, and without all those things, finding a partner is literally based off vibes and giggles. So basically, people are trying to give white people the benefit of the doubt that they are more inclined to be married because that's how they were raised, basically. And
gotcha.
I brought this topic up because we are a black couple who are headed towards marriage, who have married black friends, who come from two-parent household. I mean, my parents just got divorced last year, but we know they were married for 26 years. And your parents still married. We have married aunts and uncles. We were raised around a lot of black love and black marriage. So, and successful marriages. Maybe not my parents anymore, but we around that. And I feel like we're the best people to speak on this because I feel like we met in college, right? And I don't know. I don't think it's true necessarily that you have to have it drilled into your brain to meet a person in college. I feel like for us, it just happened naturally. We met, and it just happened naturally, right? Like it was like nobody drilled into our heads like go to school, meet you, and find your husband. Go to school and find your wife. We just met, was having a good time, was chilling, got to know each other, and just a relationship came out of it. And there was no thought of, like, even when I was like, we came to school undeclared, right? I declared accounting, which was already the plan. You declared economics. I don't know about you, but for me, there was no, oh, what's he majoring in? Economics? Oh, yeah. He's going to be a good husband. Like, no.
Why
Like,
always do that weird voice?
because I just think,
Bro, that playback is gonna sound insane.
I just never, like, it never was a thought for me. Like, I was never was sitting there, like, thinking about that. Like, wow, yeah, economics, he's about to get a bag. Like, no, like, I already loved you. Like, regardless of what your major was in, I was going to support you, whatever career that you were going to do. Like, it just so happened to be that me and you both have gotten lucrative majors and lucrative careers and are living, like, a pretty good financially stable life together. That's just happened by happenstance.
Pretty good. I'm doing fantastic.
Like, no, that's just by happenstance. Like,
How are you doing?
we
You
loved
doing-
each other before.
You doing fantastic?
Yeah, I would say so. And we already loved each other before we even declared majors. So, like, there was no ill intention. There was no, I'm going to find somebody, pursue somebody because they're major and who they are. Like, no, it was 17, 18-year-old young kids who just fell in love. And there was nobody had to drill it into our heads. Like, I feel like maybe it's just because we were used to seeing marriage, so it was the expectation for ourselves. Like, we just knew, like, oh, we'll be married one day because we saw our parents were married. Like, that was just kind of like, nobody told us, right? I don't know about you. Like, did your parents ever sit you down and like, you're gonna get married, right? You're gonna find your person? Like, did they really have those conversations with you? But my
Yeah,
parents didn't.
for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, my parents never did that.
But-
Honestly, there was never no. I mean, there was like passing conversation, like, oh, you're gonna find your husband one day and like and get married. Like there was like passing conversation, but there was never no drilling in our heads. Find your husband. Find your husband.
no,
He's gonna
not-
take care of you. Like there was none of that.
not the trying to force feed finding somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so educating on the things you should and should not look out for,
Yeah.
or the
Like
things
the
that
red
you should
flags.
look out for.
Yeah.
And the questions that you should ask, the information that you should have about this person,
Yeah.
what position you should be in, and your role in a relationship. So it's more so like the education on how to have a successful relationship, more so than finding a relationship in general, or like finding a husband, like or wife. Like there was never like such an emphasis on just simply finding someone.
Yeah.
Their emphasis was just on finding a quality relationship
Yeah.
and like what things not to do.
Yeah. But
But
there was no like you got to get married. You need to
yeah,
do-
find a wife that does this and blah blah. Nah.
And I feel like it's like kind of funny how like black people are putting white people on a pedestal, thinking that's what they do. Like that might not be necessarily what they do either. Like yeah, there might be more like talks about it, but I don't think people are really sitting there drilling it. Like I think some people definitely are, right? And I'm not gonna like say that there isn't a discrepancy because there definitely is. The stats don't lie, right? But that could go into a deeper conversation, like we just said, the Oprah thing, the just slavery, how that turned into segregation, and like because black people were getting married and were having like these lives, right? But then things like Jim Crow and all those things. And then you could talk about like Ronald Reagan and the whole crack cocaine. Like somebody had a good explanation about this, and I was like, I agree. I can find it real quick, but it's like you could have so many explanation of why black people aren't necessarily as inclined to marriage anymore, and how our communities got destroyed by like mass incarceration and all that. But then there is like a sense of accountability and of having to then now, you have your own brains. We can't keep blaming the system and blaming this and blaming that. Like you could still want those things and desire those things, but I really don't think that white people are as like I think black people are kind of putting them on a pedestal a bit with the whole acting like they're so much better than us because they're taught to be married and they're taught to have community and build their homes and stuff like.
Yeah, I think definitely they have that explained to them more than we do. I don't think that's a debate. To the extent that they do that, I don't know. We wouldn't be able to tell that necessarily. But yeah, for me, at this point, of course, there's a concept of something being a simple answer, but not an easy answer. And for anybody that doesn't understand what that means, the simple answer is something where it's black and white, right? So it's like if you want to lose weight, for example, let's say the simple answer is don't eat unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why that's not an easy answer is because the reason why somebody might eat unhealthy is because of economic conditions. It could be due to trauma. It could be due to addictions. It could be due to a lot of different things. So the answer itself is simple: eat healthy. But the way to get to that is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a simple level, yeah, black people should just try to get married more. But
Yeah.
it's not easy because there are these other
There's
different
so many
things.
variables.
There's a lot of different variables, but really at the end of the day, like nothing's stopping you from learning and educating yourself.
Yeah. Breaking generational curses.
Yeah, and you have that responsibility to your people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to do that, then that's kind of on you. I'm not going to be a part of that personally.
Yeah.
But you have a choice at the end of the day, especially because
you don't need to be
if you have the internet,
yeah, that's
and you're tweeting,
you
don't need a parent to ingrain anything in you.
Exactly.
You can go ahead and learn. There's so many different
movies
things.
have so much marriages, and there's so many even black shows that have successful marriages. Like the Cosby. I mean, I know Cosby. It's a little bit people don't like to talk about him no more, but there's shows that exist that show black love and black marriage. So you don't need your parents drilling nothing into your head.
I'm beyond blessed, first of all, to have the parents that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, there's so many things that they taught me, but there's so many things outside of that I taught myself that they wouldn't even necessarily know when it comes to how I should navigate my life or certain things, certain financial tricks and stuff like that that I know from just my schooling or being self-taught, or my reading, or documentaries that I watch, and just my studying overall.
Yeah.
I add to those different things, right? Because they can teach me all about relationships
Yeah.
and whatever, but that's from a perspective that's 30 years older than
Exactly.
my perspective. So I
And
still,
your
at the
parents
end
not
of the
always
day,
right. Just because they're your parents doesn't mean what how they feel is correct either. So
right,
you still have your own responsibility to for yourself
right.
to teach yourself things.
Think about everything that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I actually just saw a video of 30 years ago. I think they were trying to describe, like, since like the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl or something like that, and then all the different things that have changed since then. Like, so if you take all those things that have changed, listening to my parents' perspectives on certain things, it just doesn't translate well because of that time difference. So many other things I had to learn myself, and
Yeah.
I owe myself that
Exactly.
responsibility, and also owe that to my potential
The
future
future.
kids. I owe that to you. I owe that to everybody, to continue to learn and
Yeah.
not fall into these things
And that's why I
again.
just don't like that excuse. Like I don't. I feel
Because
like this is such an excuse that you need your parents to drill it into your head.
I'm not rich or wealthy or anything like that, but I'm doing really well for myself, and I could imagine a world where a young black male in my position would make certain life decisions and choices based on certain things, because like I make whatever I make, and you're lightweight accustomed to that because of me, but you also had your parents and your dad. So I'm not like exactly so far off from what you've ever experienced,
Yeah.
but there could be somebody out there where I'm at is so beyond their wildest dreams. And I think so many young black men make that decision where maybe if they do get popping, then they just go berserk and then just go all out in the streets, and now they're like
Impregnate a whole
40,
bunch of women
yeah,
too.
and then it's just
And
like
yeah.
just continuing
And
these
just
sorts of
don't
things.
create that marriage structure.
And yeah, like our music is influential in that too.
Yeah.
Like our music is, the
Our
movies
music,
are,
the music is it very much pushes singlehoodness.
and I still have this debate internally because I kind of have to like see how I feel about it, but I don't know if the music is promoting the lifestyle as much as it is somebody talking about something and then other people just finding it cool.
I think it's that. I think it started with somebody just talked about their experience. People thought it was cool, and then people saw entertainers saw how what's the word, engaging, I guess, people were, like how much they were receiving that type of content, and then a lot of them just push into it and don't even really live by it, but they pushed into it because they see that the people who listen to it really engage with it and really like are receptive to it. And I think that's what happened. So I really do think it got to a point where it is impacting people's lives. Like it is like making people act a certain way because they're trying to emulate the music. They're trying to emulate what they think their favorite artist is doing when their favorite artist is probably not even really living that life.
Yeah, it's
And women got to, the responsibility is on both, right? Because like don't let a
that
man
part.
impregnate you without a ring. Because if you value the marriage thing, don't just become a
Yeah,
baby mama.
we
Don't just become a stat. If you
right.
value the marriage, a woman is the gatekeeper. I don't think like people talk about how they feel like women can be trapped. A woman, in my opinion, cannot be trapped. You are literally the gatekeeper of the pregnancy. Like you could get Plan B the next day if you had unprotected sex. You could get an abortion if you get to that point, and you could just not accept the sex. You could just not have unprotected sex. And I know stealthing exists, so I know that's a whole nother conversation. Like the men that take the condoms off, so that's not even part of the conversation. But for the most part, women are literally the gatekeepers of babies. Like their babies cannot even get into your stomach and you have to allow, like, women are the ones that, unless it was SA, women are literally could say no, and that man cannot the baby can't form by just on the man alone. So women have to take responsibility. Stop getting pregnant by men who are not your husbands. Like if you want to create that structure in our communities, you are responsible for that as well.
Yeah.
And don't just pressure a man to get married to you. He doesn't want that too. So men have to still want that. So
Yeah.
it's not just on women, but women also are the gatekeepers. Don't just become a statistic. Don't become a baby mama. Like become a wife and create this family if you can.
if people really want families, I definitely I would say black men. I could say this pretty definitively, and I hate generalizing. I could definitely say black men don't want families as much as black women do,
They don't.
but the
Well,
black women, like, yeah, if that's really what you
they
want,
settle.
then
They
enforce
yeah.
that shit.
They enforce it. Don't settle. They settle, and then they think, oh, if I get pregnant, maybe he'll want me. He'll marry me. If
Yeah,
I
it's
give him
just
babies, no.
stupid.
Like, how many times are we gonna do
And
this? How many, like, when is it gonna end? Like,
and
no.
white women do the same thing, but the
They
difference
do.
is that they have so much of a wider population in America, so that they can have a large population where that happens to them too, which it doesn't. But they percentage wise it's not, but volume wise it's going to be more just because they have more people in America than we do. But they also have a huge population where they do get married, and marriage doesn't mean everything
It doesn't, because that was
because
a
you
whole
could,
nother separate conversation I
yeah,
was gonna have too. Like
marriage
these early marriages in college,
could
for me,
could be trash.
like are and they probably
They
are.
probably
Like
fail.
me and you work in corporate environments. Like I'm telling you, a lot of these white men and white women, they come into these jobs and they complain about their husbands every day. These are the same people that are getting married at 21. They come into their offices every day. My husband is so annoying. My husband is that. My wife is this. They come into office flirting with other married coworkers. Like, so I'm telling you, like, this is not the end all be all. Like, just because this doesn't always mean nothing either. Like, that's what even this person said. Like, that he said that it seems like if you actually around these people, that they barely have a sense of self, and they don't even marry based off ideologies or shared interests. Like they think finding a partner is literally based off vibes and giggles. Like I do feel like it's like, oh, this high school cute fairy tale type love, and then they don't even share interests. They don't really even like each other. They're just looking for financial stability and a partner, and who giggles and laughs. And when times get rough, now it's I hate my wife, and they don't really be loving each other either. So like that's why I hate that we are putting them on such a pedestal, because lots of times their marriages don't mean nothing. Like honestly, like, I think, in my opinion, I think true genuine love is like it's not super common in marriages. They're not. People are either marrying off of vibes, like early vibes and honeymoon stages, or they're marrying off of financial stability or because they have a kid. Like it's like I just want people to feel that real love and get married. Like so that's why we can't be acting like that. This is this means anything either,
Yeah,
right? Because like you've seen
marriage.
it probably in work too. Like these are the same people. The husbands come in and cheat on their wives, flirting with the other married coworkers who they really wish they want, because now they actually have a sense of self and they know each other, know
One
themselves.
day,
That's a whole nother topic.
one day, I'm gonna break stuff that like really what I want to actually that's a separate idea for my own individual channel, but yeah, the whole marriage thing, like, yeah, we just don't have the focus on it in the black
We
community
don't.
anymore because we don't see the benefit in it.
And this is like that's why this person said like you know they said it's just natural thing to for them to want to get married because that's what they see. Like they said they come from married parents. On top of that, most people get married from people they work with or at school. It's just a natural thing because you're around each other the most at those times. And someone said they don't even be in love to just wait. They don't even be in love, just get married for financial stability. But yeah, like it's not really instilled in us. I feel like oh damn it, I lost the tweet, but I'm gonna find it again. It's not really instilled in us because a lot of us don't see it. So it's not instilled in us because we used to said the Oprah conversation. You have bitter. A lot of these people are being raised by bitter black moms, black women moms, right? Who are all you're hearing is you look like your dad. You're just annoying like your dad. Your dad is this. Your dad is that. So you're just hearing so much negativity about men. So what makes you think now those daughters are gonna want to go look for husbands when all they've heard was their mom complaining about men, and they have spite towards men because their dad left, right? So these people aren't seeing those successful marriages, right? That's one. And then two, like this person had a good breakdown. He said, I wish some of you studied the black community as much as you studied the white community because it's pertinent to know both. But I'll entertain this conversation. It's a loaded one that's pretty complex with many dynamics, even though people will try to simplify it by saying some communities are just more intentional than others when it comes to dating. You can only pass down what you learned and pursue that in which you see value in. Let me try to be short and direct. You can't and wouldn't have the opposite of this without the strategic dismantling of the black family unit via mass incarceration, the drug epidemic, economic castration, and miseducation of the black community. That began in the late 70s and ravaged what once existed physically, psychologically, and emotionally for the next 2.5 decades. Black girls overwhelmingly have been raised to be independent, like we were saying, to seek the highest levels of education. Nothing inherently wrong with this. Oh, my throat's getting itchy. and to never have to depend on a man because of this, by single mothers who were placed in situations that call for that. Well, I'm gonna need a break. Come back to she. You can read it.
By single mothers who were placed in situations that called for that. The upbringing subconsciously narrates the rest of their lives unless realized and attempted to change in order to sustain a healthy relationship with a man. This also statistically causes black women to become ready to for marriage much later in life. They call it settling down for a reason, because you will never be able to find a man that checks all 40 boxes on your list. The goal is to find one that presents safety, security, and a level of stability. Someone equally yoked, who's open to self-improvement, and whom you can build with. You want me to read all this? How far? You want me to read all of this?
I can read the next one.
Do you see how long this is?
It's almost done.
Like, that's not almost done.
Yeah, look.
Oh, these are tweets. Black boys that, how did he even tweet all of these words?
Twitter Premium.
Yo, bro, for y'all.
That's why some people pay for it.
I know y'all can't see this, but I don't even know how much time we have left on this segment.
No, we got like 10 minutes.
He wrote a whole Microsoft Word doc on a tweet. Black boys at a higher rate were also raised by single mothers, women who try their best to turn them into men, but even the best mothers are incapable of giving a boy everything needed to become a man. Many never had examples of solid male role models who exemplified love, commitment, and the importance of social structure. They in turn were raised and socialized to survive. If you've ever been in a state of mind to any capacity, you would have a deeper understanding and be more empathetic. Are there black men who actively destroy their own families without any help or outside of the conditions I previously listed? Due to infidelity, ego, lack of discipline, etc.? Absolutely. But even that is all traceable back to a mental health element that many don't want to address. If you simply think that black men are just more promiscuous or less serious than other races, you're sadly misinformed. Intentionally dating and marriage are byproducts and privileges of healthy examples, conditioning, upbringing, values, and positive mental health. Now that we are aware of these obstacles and why our people have and are currently facing them in our community, I vote we stop these comparison games and put all of our energy and time into becoming more and wanting more using our own metrics. Never make me read a tweet like that.
No, but he was that's right. Like everything he said, he broke it down literally in parts. He broke it down to, obviously we could talk straight from the government and all the stuff they did to dismantle the black family, right? Then we could talk about how we dismantle it ourselves, how black girls are raised to be, remember we always say it, Miss Independent. That's like, get the PhD, get the degree, you don't need no man. Like, you're pushed to that, right? And I feel like we see that all the time too. Like, you got, stop chasing men. You can find your husband in your 30s, like, get that degree, but you could do both. Like, I have higher education than probably so many single women right now. So, like, what are we talking about? Like, we both got master's degrees. We both got our degrees on time. Like, we were able to get jobs and careers and do everything while still pursuing a relationship. Like, you could do both. And I wish we would stop embedding in people's brains that you can't focus on that degree. Don't focus on a man. Do you have ADHD? You could do both. Like, what are we talking about? Like, and I feel like there's so much brainwashing of black women for that Miss Independent thing. You don't need a man. You don't need this. You don't need that. And then black boys, same way. They're raised by single moms. And they're, a lot of these moms don't know how to raise men, and the men aren't around, like the men that should be around. There's so many just layers to this, and why our community is just such disheveled. And I want it to be fixed. I hope we could fix it, but I feel like this also circles back to our conversation that we had about the NFL players and stuff, right? Like, I do feel like there are a lot of successful black love and marriages out there. People just don't want to see it. They just see the negative, or they see what they see. Yeah, the stats don't lie. It's not like there's a huge population of us that are still like married, but they do exist. Like, we just set our own examples. Like, we grew up with married parents. All your aunts are married, right? All three of your aunts are married. My one aunt isn't, but my one aunt is married still. They just celebrated, I think, 30 years like a few months ago. I've had friends with married parents. Like, I've had
4 months.
Huh?
Is that 4 months?
4 your aunts. Oh yeah. I have for your on the other side, your dad's sister. Yeah, and we have friends who have married parents. Like I said, we have friends ourselves who are married, 2 black married people with 2 kids, and yeah, like, I feel like people, it's alive and well. So let's stop acting like it's not. But there definitely is still a problem in our community, and yeah. And like the guy said, let's just stop the comparisons, because every community has their own thing. Like we just said, like, I feel like we can't look at white people as the the measurement, because I don't think they get married for love. Like we could applaud them on getting married. I think they do. Sorry, that's very a blanket statement.
Very unfair.
No, it's very unfair. I think a lot of them do for sure. But like I feel like the comparison games that people are making, a lot of them do get married though for that financial stability. It is go to school and find a man that's with got that good degree, who's gonna like and that's not a bad thing, right? If you want to look for you want to create a family structure based on financial stability, that's not something to look down on, because that's better than what we're doing, right? They're not doing it. But yeah, let me not say they don't get married for love, but definitely I'm sure they do. Plenty of them do. Like, that's an ignorant statement. But I feel like there also is other layers in there that they just have been raised on powerhouses and just creating that financial stability and just keep it going. So I feel like there's a lot more nuances that we have to be aware of before we just keep comparing ourselves to them. So like the guy said, let's stop the comparison games. Like, let's not even comparing. Let's just start working on our community. Like, let's look inward. Like, why is it like this? Look at their white men. Their white men is good. That's why I'm gonna go start dating the white man. I'm gonna go get me a white man.
What voice is that? Whose voice is that?
The mammies.
I never heard somebody with that type of voice.
You ever see the swirlers? That's what their reason they're leaving. I'm leaving the community because you see the white black women.
What are they called?
The swirlers. You never heard them call those swirlers?
Let's move on.
No, that's a real statement, and they call that for black women too. Okay. That makes that date white women.
We're gonna move on to
no, but that's what they be like.
They
be like, eyes goes. I'ma go get me his white man. He's gonna pay the bills. He's a provider. Leave them black men alone. That's how they be sounding.
Them white men don't want y'all.
Huh?
So them white men don't want y'all.
They don't.
They don't want y'all.
They don't. That'd be the funny part.
I was about to say something.
Oh my God, when they be gassing them like, did I show you that TikTok?
Don't show me nothing.
No, I'm gonna show you this TikTok.
We got to move on.
I'm gonna show you this TikTok real quick. They was talking about when I actually tweeted it so I could find it. It was talking about like how black women get so gassed up when they get compliments from white men. Look. This is how this how black women be. But this is how they act. This is literally how they act, right? This is literally
turn it off.
But tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. They be doing the most bare minimum complimenting. They be like, black women are so beautiful, and then there goes the people in the comments. They see it's time to switch sides. They see us for who we are. Like, okay, here we go.
Bye.
So this is flawed aspects on every
good riddance.
Every aspect, but like I said, I always like to wrap it up this way. Y'all be safe, because we know what we got going on here, and we know what we have in store for our lives, and we hope our kids just follow suit. Our future kids, we just hope that they see us as a good example, as a married black couple. And yeah, that's what we marriage is, like I said, was not drilled into our brains. We saw it. It was just kind of like an expectation. I never put any thought into it. Like, I just lived my life. And I love that. Like, I feel like so many people are just put so much thought into how they like want their lives to be. And I'm just grateful I never had to do that. Like, we just lived our life. Everything came naturally. Money wasn't even a thought. We just both happened to have good lucrative careers and degrees, and just everything turned out the way it was supposed to be. Like, maybe we're just blessed people. Maybe we're just favored people. And yeah, we'll be married, so y'all be safe. That's all I gotta say. At the end of the day, I don't really care about anybody else's life. Y'all be safe. I care about the black community. I want us to be better and prosper, but I really don't care that much at the end of the day. It's not my life.